Hi and welcome back to the channel. So today we have actually going to have a look at the Kontrol S61 and as you can see it's quite big and I don't really have an awful lot of room on my desk because I've got kind of like two desks. So I've got my main desk and then I've got the desk down the side that you kind of saw in the unboxing, so kind of L shape. So I don't have an awful lot of room for 61, and this is quite long for a 61 as well. Hopefully you can see the screen because I'm using my phone because it's got a better resolution than my webcam, so hopefully you're going to be able to see this. When I first launched Complete Control, I was going through the brands, and so I've got Arturia, Audiver, Heaviosity, Native Instruments, ProjectSam, Riot Audio, Spitfire Audio, Synapse Audio Waves, and Westwood Instruments. As you can see, I've got six Westwood. So when I first launched Complete Control, most of these were missing. I had like two, and the same with Arturia. So if I go to Arturia, basically I had ARP 2600 to the Prophet V. So anything from S onwards was missing. So I did a rescan. So I'll just show you where to do that. So you've got the settings and then library, and you've got factory. So if you hit rescan, it does take a while. It'll go through everything that's in your Native Instruments. Wherever you've set your path for Native Instruments, it'll go through that. And then plugins as well. So I added in a few locations. So Arturia and Cherry Audio and Zero G. Unfortunately, it's saying that I've got the Cherry Audio plugins, but they're not coming up as a brand. So that's a bit of a shame. And also none of my Air plugins like Fabric XL and everything, they're not showing up either. So yeah, so that's the first thing. So you can rescan the plugins and rescan the library as well. And like I said, that will take a while because 44,485 presets. I said you can just filter them. So you've got brands, and then you've got product, and then you've got type, character, and then you've got load button, and you can either load by pressing this or load by pressing that button. So you've got empty, instrument, user saved, favorites, and set favorite. So they've now got a separate button for set favorite, so you don't have to shift click. An adjustable Complete Control now, so you can adjust the view of this. It's not stuck to whatever percentage that you are going up in, 25% or something. So you can adjust this completely like that. So you can have it whichever size you want. So that's new as well. So yeah, so as you can see, well, hopefully you can see, I've got the light set to turquoise on the mod and the pitch, and then the touch strip as well. The lights on the light guide will just change depending on the plugin. So sometimes they're blue, they're yellow, they could be anything. So you can't control that. But if you want to change this light, you just go into settings, and then we've got hardware. So you can click on hardware. So you've got LEDs, brightness, so I'm on 50, and I've got color is turquoise. So like I said, you've got, I'll just start at the beginning and you can see what you get. So you've got red, orange, light orange, warm yellow, yellow, lime, there's a lot of colors, lime, green, mint, cyan, turquoise, which is my kind of corporate color, blue, plum, there's violet, purple, magenta, and fuchsia, and that's it. So yeah, so fuchsia's quite nice as well. So that said, I stick to turquoise because that is my kind of color for my DTC logo. You get the pitch mod and the light strip. So yeah, very cool. So you've got a hardware button, and then you can go through. You've got the velocity, the Aftertouch, and the Aftertouch keys, and then you can switch from polyphonic to mono and off. So I've just left it to poly, and then you've got the Aftertouch curve, sensitivity, threshold, delay. You've got your default MIDI templates, and you've got parameters, pedals, touch strip, and wheels, and then you've got a general and user data, so you can switch off the user data, and then you go back, and then that's it. MIDI out USB, MIDI out dual, MIDI 1 and MIDI 2. So we're not really kind of using MIDI 2 yet, but it does have it, which is future-proofing this keyboard because it will be coming more and more of a standard. And then we just press that again to get out of there, and then press browser, and then you've got plugin, and there's no plugin loaded. And then these are play assist. So you've got your pages button for going through all the different pages, and then you've got your presets, previous and next. So it's gone to massive for some reason. We'll go to Native Instruments. We'll pick Ashlight because that's got polyphonic aftertouch. So like I said, I could go to bank. So I've got atmosphere, decaying effect, MPE, pad, pulses, sequences, and then you've got type. So you've got ambience, bass, bass synth, chord, distortion, electro, glitch, impact, modulation, percussion, piano keys, sound effects, soundscape, strikes. You know, you've got the whole lot. Synth pad. I could go to my favourites because I've got quite a lot of favourites, and then we could load my first favourite, which is Abandoned Quarry. So we'll load this up. Right, so here we go. So this is Ashlight. And like I said, this is one of the few that supports polyphonic aftertouch. There's not very many, I'm afraid. So I'll change the view to edit view. Right, that should be better. That should fill the screen a bit better. So here we are in Ashlight. So these are all maps. So we've got the detune, which is adjusting this and the intensity, and you can use the mod wheel for that as well. And then we can switch grain on and sample on, so they're both on, and then we've got the cutoff, drive, delay and reverb, as you can see on the screen. And these knobs are metal and they are very nice. So basically this has your main macros. So there's 2 pages of these. So on page 2 you've got your grain mix and your sample mix. So this is volume, delay send, reverb send, and you can see that's what's up here. So this is your kind of volume here, and it's got your delay sends and your reverb sends. So there's obviously a lot of other pages. So you've got grain, sample, effects and global. Now if I want to adjust those, I just hit edit and then I get the whole lot. So this is the main difference between NKS 1 and NKS 2. You couldn't do this before. So I've got grain, sample, grain effects, sample effects, send effects and global effects up here. So if I could go to sample, and there's 3 pages of that, I could go to sample effects straight there. There's 2 pages of that. The send effects, the global effects. So yeah, so this is brilliant. So you really don't need to use the mouse or even look at the screen now. You can just concentrate on using all the controls. And like I said, everything is mapped. So for instance, if I go to grain, so this is the cursor. So you can see there, cursor's mapped. And I've got the scan and jitter. So we're in poly mode. So there's a bit of aftertouch. So this is, like I said, this is the main difference, and it's brilliant because, like I said, I've hardly been using the mouse. Once it's set up, you hardly ever need to look at this screen, or you certainly use your mouse. I mean, obviously there's a lot more controls that you can access, and Ashlight is, as you can see, pretty complex. If we go to sample and switch over to sample here, then you can see I can change the pitch on the aftertouch. And the offset, and then you've got your ADSR for the amp there. You can see it moving at the end, so we could take the attack down a bit. And then you've got your filter on page 2, So you bring up the res, just the cutoff, and then you've got the ADSR for that as well. And then release, bring up sustain. So let's go back to browser and pick another birth of the machine. So you can either click this. I'm used to clicking this one. I probably won't use this much at all because I'm always using that to load machine, and it's obviously quite similar layout. Take off edit again. We'll get back to the main mods. So you got the X there and then the Y there, and then you've got mod speed, cursor speed, delay and reverb. We'll just bring them all up to about 50. So we can adjust the balance between A and B. And then go into edit. So there's 4 pages. So we've got sequencer and settings. So not as much for that. So we've got the scale, the pitch, envelope, the macros, macro 1, macro 2, macro 3, macro 4. So yeah, so you've got all the macro controls too. Bring up the flare. So yeah, pretty cool. So that is that's just a kind of quick look at this. So I'm going to do a video where I'm going to go through all the different brands. So I'm going to go through Arturia, Heaviosity, Spitfire, and just show you what these look like, Westwood, what these look like and how they work, other than just Native Instruments stuff. And obviously, yeah, I'm going to go through a lot of the other Native Instruments plugins and let you see how they look. But that is a quick look at how this works and what you can change and how it looks on how it matches up with what you're getting on screen. And like I said, it is very, very good indeed. It's just a shame that the screen wasn't angled a bit. I mean, the best thing about the Akai MPC Key 61 was that it was angled, and that is, I do like an angled screen because you get an awful lot of reflections, especially with this is glass and not plastic. So you do get quite a lot of reflections. So if it was just angled maybe even 10-15 degrees, it would be great. And I don't know why more manufacturers don't do that, because it does make everything a lot easier to see. That is it for today. And as usual, if you have enjoyed these videos, please like, subscribe, share and comment. And I will see you in the next one.